Hello, walkers, excuse me, and welcome to Santa Fe, New Mexico. My name is Henry. I will be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide, your co-discoverer and co-explorer. I say virtual travel guide, but really, if you've been watching this channel at all, you know that that's not exactly true, because I'm not an expert in these locations. I like to walk around, explore, and point out interesting things. I read a Wikipedia article every once in a while, which is helpful. It is a little after 9 a.m., early January, and 33 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius, of course. We are at 7,200 feet of elevation, which is about 2,200 meters. It's pretty chilly, but also bright and sunny, which is nice. What else can I tell you about? We're headed up to we're in the main plaza right now, walking around with lots of stores and cool Western wear. So many beautiful art galleries and different types of creative stuff going on here. And we're just gonna kind of wander around. We got in last night. I did a little bit of reading on Wikipedia. Look at these boots. That's about the sum of my knowledge. Cool Western wear. 1610, this is the state capital. 1610, the city was founded. And it's got quite a long official name. We'll end up at that cathedral a little bit. But we're just going to call it Santa Fe. I'm going to go in here, see some of the buildings and that sort of thing. So it's the oldest state capital, the highest state capital in the U.S., and has been under 3 different nationalities: Spanish Empire, the Mexico, and then finally the United States after the Mexican-American War in 1846. New Mexico became a state in 1912, and actually when Texas seceded from Mexico, they sent an expedition over here to try and capture Santa Fe, but it did not go well. This is the governor's palace, I think. I don't think the governor actually lives here anymore in this palace. It's also the county seat. Look at these peppers here. And I kind of like to see this at night because it's all lit up. They've been taking down this morning the wreaths, the Christmas wreaths. You can see a big trailer full of pine boughs up here. Pardon the wind noise if it's showing up. I love this little town. It's super quiet right now. Off season, I believe, tourist season. And, kind of early in the morning. But it's starting to wake up. I love the adobe architecture. Really cool. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a... not sure what this is. I'm trying not to run over too much here. New Mexico Museum of Art. Oh yeah, we're here on a Tuesday, and on Tuesday, 2 things that we were hoping to see are not open, unfortunately. One of which is the Meow Wolf, which is this sort of light, surrealist, light-based artistic establishment. There's one in Las Vegas, there's a couple of them around, but the first one was here, I believe. I think there might be one in Denver. And then, of course, there's the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum, and we're kind of, look at this woodwork. Kind of sad to miss that. She's an iconic artist, known for her flowers, I think. I don't know too much about her. Some really great hotels down here. There's one up ahead, I think it's the El Dorado. We stayed at the Inn of the Governors, This is Sheridan Avenue, by the way. And it was really nice, really affordable too. Maybe having to do with the season. And then there was a couple others we passed, several bakeries and coffee shops and restaurants and wine tasting rooms. Look at this stuff. I don't know about that, but these cougars, these mountain lions, are fantastic. I love that. Really cool stuff around. And there's these little stylized animals. It's pretty well, it's known a lot for its art scene here. Beyond Georgia O'Keeffe and Meow Wolf. And there's also, I think, a cartoonist who has a gallery here, Chuck somewhere or other. I think he did Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner and that sort of thing. We're gonna go down here. Love this style of building. They've gone all in on it. I have to put my hood on. As I film this, we have been just published the third Innsbruck walking video. Oh my gosh, I could just walk around here all day probably. In fact, I go down and see. I think that's the hotel, Eldorado Hotel. So we'll just keep going along here. And we've got a bunch more of Italian Italy videos to show you. So I'm not sure when this will actually go up. It may not go up until late spring or early summer. So it may be hard to wrap your head around it being cold. This big old tree. Here's a historic building of some sort. What does this say? A.M. Bergeret House, or Berger House. The double cottonwood. It's nice light though. It's like a church over here. First Presbyterian. We're gonna go up here and make a right on Marcy. This is a visitor center here, Santa Fe Tourism. And we're gonna make a right on Marcy. I said that. Then we're going to do a little jaywalking. There's an old historic Santa Fe trail that goes right through town, or I guess probably terminates here. And I think it's partly a road now. There is a road called Old Santa Fe Trail. Community gallery. This is a pretty cool, looks like a school maybe. And there's all these fish. That's pretty neat. I love it. I love this, all this art around here. This might be a government building. Pardon me. I started out with a little sniffle and now I got a bit of a cold, so apologize for any of that. This is the Sergeant First Class Rio Apache Medal of Honor winner, presented by President Barack Obama. Interesting. I'm going to go left on Lincoln here. So the full name of this place, this is City Hall. Looks like a school. The full name is La Villa Real de la Santa Fe de San Francisco de Asís, referring to St. Francis of Assisi. With Assisi, I guess. So maybe, oh, this is the United States Courthouse up ahead. Federal Place. Off to the right is a bank, hence this big armored car carrying around money. There's the post office, big post office over there. Some great, good signage to let you know where everything is. See if we can get our back to the wind. Santa Fe's up high, but it's not really, there's some mountains around it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's not really like Vail or something where it's in proper mountains. I'm not phrasing that right. And I'm a little worried somebody's going to call me out on it. But actually, I forgot to mention, please do call me out. Nicely, kindly. I actually welcome corrections and additions and pointing out omissions that would make these tours, walking tours, a little bit better. As long as they're well intended and kindly put. Which, I've said this before, I love interacting with you guys in the comments. It's one of the best parts of doing these. I've gotten some wonderful comments about how these help you with your treadmill walks and help you to travel the world from your home when maybe you can't travel. I love hearing that stuff. And one of the surprises is how few unpleasant comments I get, which is really not what I would have expected. Maybe that's my own cynicism, or maybe it's a result of the hyperbole in the news and the internet. But you know, my fellow walkers, you are by and large very kind and nice and generous, and I love it. Didn't give you a street name because I didn't see it, but we'll see it up here. I would have thought that Santa Fe would be a little bit like Bozeman in that it would have had a lot of influx of people over the last few years, just because it's such a charming little place. and such a great art community, and you know, people are working remotely now. Look at this old gas station over here is now a Los Poblanos Norte farm shop. Classic old, maybe it was an old bank. It looks like an old gas station, old service station, I guess they'd be called. Okay, we're on Washington Avenue, and let's go across. Oh, gotta hurry. And then make a left. These, I don't know what the term is, the loggia maybe, or the porticos, the covered walkways. Always enjoy that. Oh, and we are on Marsh Street again. Sorry about that. I like to call out the names of the streets so that people can follow along on a map if they want to. Well, we came in at dark last night, so maybe there's more sprawl and typical American city of strip malls and block stores, sort of chain stores, but this little downtown area is wonderfully quiet and has that small town feel to it. I love it. Little espresso and gelato store here. Sorry, Mellow Velo Bicycles. Little shop up here. I love that name. Oh, I went a block too far, but we'll figure it out. I'm going to show you to the left here in a second, but looking up there in the distance, behind that big tree is a cross of the martyrs, and I see my family walking up there while I take you guys around. We're going to make a right on Otero. We're going to go up this way because I want to show you it's the Cathedral Basilica de St. Francis de Assisi. Assisi, sorry. And it's kind of neat, kind of pretty. It's a big campus, almost a city block, I think, or 2 city blocks. In fact, we'll go this way. Kind of curious about this parking. So it's paid parking, but looks like you can use Park Mobile, which is one of the parking apps, and I think it's one of the best innovations of the mobile world in a long time. It just makes something that's kind of a hassle really simple. You know, in the old days you had to have change, and then they'd have parking stations, and you'd have to plug in your maybe your space number and your plate number, and now you register your car once, and then you put in like whatever the area, the little numeric identifier for where you are. Sometimes it's in a zone, sometimes it's in a space. This is another street. Well, we're gonna have to walk into the wind. That's right. There's the Basilica Cathedral. Do you guys know the difference between a basilica and a cathedral? I'm not sure exactly what it is or if there is. Come across again. I love the Southwest flavor here. Oh, also known, of course, for its Mexican-American cuisine in the area. A lot of Hatch chilies and green chilies. This is Cathedral Park off to the left, I guess. A lot of the artwork is very colorful. You can see these columns decorated up here across the way. Museum of Contemporary Native Arts. Crossover. This is Cathedral Street that we're crossing, and Palace is what we've been walking down, but we're going to make a left on Cathedral. Excuse me. Take a look at these columns. Pretty cool. And then this looks like it might be a parking garage slash hotel or something up ahead on Francisco Street. Yeah, La Fonda parking. And then that way is the piazza where we started. We're going to make a left here. Yeah, I probably should have gone right. That's right. Yes. We're going to go down this way. It's kind of an alley, but yeah. There's so much to see here that there's no ideal perfect route to take you on. Look at, I love the integration of these wood things in this modern structure, right? These kind of the grill work on those windows. Purely decorative, I imagine. Still really interesting that very cool that they did that. And then of course there's this fence with these old logs. And this isn't some ancient ruin. It's a parking lot basically, but just a decorative screen. Adds to the flavor of historicism. The original inhabitants were, I want to say Tuan, the Tua people, and they had a pueblo right where the piazza was, and it stretched for a half mile down the Santa Fe River, which used to run year round, but in the 1700s, oh, very cool, became a seasonal river. And I have to wonder, because this has been on my mind lately. I read a few things about it, enough to be sound officious. But look at these sculptures. Mountain Trails Gallery. I have to wonder if the trapping of beaver for hats had anything to do with that, because those beaver dams stored water, slowed down the flow. So kind of like a big bank. And I wonder if when they became trapped out and extirpated from the region, if those dams were no longer there to slow the water down, so it would all just run off in the wet season. Some pretty big, pretty cool sculptures here. Pretty ornate, wow. This is the inn shops, and I forget what church that is. I didn't see a sign, but morning. Oh, just a lot of, like, look at all this fine jewelry, handmade rugs, Momeni's gallery. Look at all that cool stuff. I'm starting to wish we had more time here. This is really cool. The Inns and Spa at Loretto. That looks like it could be nice. So about the beavers, if you have a contrary opinion, feel free to kindly put it in the or information. Kindly put it in the comment section. Walk down here. We are on. I want to see a street sign. Cross over here. Google Maps doesn't have this listed as a river, and I couldn't find the actual Santa Fe River on there, on the Google Maps. So feel free to tell me where that might be. We're on East Alameda Street right now. And we're just going to go down here another block or so, crossing Shelby up here, and make a left on, we're going to make a left on the old Santa Fe Trail. Chuck Jones was the animator, I guess, not cartoonist. The Tua peoples. On the looking it up now. I think Santa Fe was like the holy faith. You know what? I made a wrong turn somehow. But we'll figure it out. We'll just do a little loop-de-loop. Pardon my sniffles. So this is the Inn of the Governors, or Inn of the Governor, where we stayed. Nice little restaurant. Cool saloon. Can't take your kids into the saloon, which was disappointing because it's so pretty in there. But we had some nice burgers, some good food, and then breakfast this morning too was good. So this is a Supreme Court building on the left. I believe we're going to get back into some governmental buildings. I'm kind of my intent. But I also wanted to walk down a little bit of the old Santa Fe Trail. We're on Old We're on Don Gaspar Avenue, sorry. We're gonna make a left on Vargas. Are we? Yes. Yes, we are. A little more industrial, governmental back in here, but still got that. You can see the mountains in the background there. This is, I think, just a parking lot. But we're going to go up here and we'll see a big round building, which is the state capitol building. Santa Fe is around, did I tell you it's about 82,000 people in the city, and obviously much more in the surrounding area. It's the fourth largest city in New Mexico. And so I have to think that whatever they had here in the colonial times as a capitol building just was not going to suffice for a much bigger state, much bigger population. And so they've built this new one. And that is a guess, so I'm gonna see if I can't look that up. That round building is the one. Kind of curious about what type of logs they use for these decorative screened fences. I don't know if it's mesquite or probably not mesquite. Maybe pinyon pine. If you know, let me know in the comments. Okay, so this road coming up is Old Santa Fe Trail. I'll try to remember to put something in the comments section about the Old Santa Fe Trail, the actual trail. Ooh, Prime Steakhouse, Rio Chama. this sort of mural. The pink adobe. All of these little shops, you know, there is a Starbucks down by the main plaza and a Haagen-Dazs store. But you get these other places like Upper Crust Pizza and these little art galleries and these little shops. That's San Miguel Church over there. Off the left is the Inn of the Five Graces. Right, like that's pretty cool. Old stone building down there. So the Santa Fe Trail was a 19th century route connecting Franklin, Missouri to Santa Fe, New Mexico, started in 1821. Served as a vital commercial highway until 1880. State Land Office. So $5.4 billion for our schools. Out west, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but they have land grant universities. I assume that's what that's referring to. And I think it was in the 1860s, 1870s, maybe later. I think it might have been Lincoln actually, 1860, mid 60s. The federal government, in order to encourage settlement of the West, granted the states big chunks of land. There's a lot of the land out here is in townships and ranges, so there's vertical and horizontal lines, and they're on square miles. So they're called sections, and they granted lots and lots of sections to the states as a way to generate income for the purpose of funding educational institutions. And so there's a lot of state land out here, and it's been sorry, I'm waiting for the light here. It's been traded and swapped, and I don't know if they're allowed to sell it or not. I don't think they are, but it generates a lot of income for university systems. In Montana, a lot of it's farmed, some of it's grazed, but it also, in Montana at least, you have public access, or at least you have the right to be on it. A lot of it, because it's sort of checkerboarded, not even checkerboarded, but patchworked, it may be completely surrounded by private land, and if there's no right of way, then you can't get to it. And there's always, especially now, a lot of court cases and fuss between, these rich folks that come out and buy a bunch of land and that encloses public lands. Maybe it's BLM land, maybe it's state lands, and they don't want to let anybody on there because they want it to be basically a bonus section of land. And then people sue because it's public land. It should be accessible to the public, with respect for private property rights. Looks like they have a little tour bus deal. Not operational right now, but you can see them in that parking lot. This is La Fonda on the Plaza, which I think I called a piazza earlier, but it's the Central Plaza. We're on Water Street and Santa Fe Trail sort of dog legs up here. Whoa. good because we're going to end up kind of where I thought we weren't going to see, which is not the end all be all, but it's kind of neat. Like, look at all this art, all these galleries, Pena Gallery, designer jewelry. Look at this giant bear, photography, painting, sculpture. I'm a little leery of, I always want to be respectful of the artists and not just film their stuff or take photos of their stuff for my own benefit. You know, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to my videos, so. Although I get a lot of requests for people who would like to use it for various purposes. And generally I say yes, because it's usually for either a scientific or sociological study, get a few of those, or a nonprofit wanting to use it for some good cause, and I'm more than happy to help with that. You know, people trying to help people do good in the world. That's a rooftop pizzeria. Maybe not the best day for that today, but I bet it'd be awesome when it's warmer. Okay, up straight ahead is the Hotel St. Francis. Also pretty fancy, pretty nice. Haven't stayed there, but looking in at the lobby and the wine bar tasting room. Off to the right here is Cafe Pasquale's. I was hoping to get in there to eat last night, but we just didn't have the energy to track it down and find it. Turns out it's about a block away from the hotel. But maybe we'll do that for lunch. I just saw it said Enchanted Land in there. That's the sort of the motto or the marketing spiel for New Mexico, Land of Enchantment. State nickname, I guess. Kind of like Big Sky Country. Golden Eye. Oh, so here they have a lot of these carvings that we kind of love. They're very pricey, as you can guess. I'm going to show these, even though what I said about the artist, but these come from Mexico, very ornate and detailed. Like, look at this hedgehog, all those individually painted spines. Sorry, I'm trying to get a good view of that. Really beautiful, colorful stuff. So we might do a little shopping for that later. Looks like a little public art over there. Not sure what that is all about, but pretty cool. A lot of pottery too. This is Andrea Fisher pottery. Classic style, southwestern style. Beautiful, beautiful work. I'm not usually a fan of pottery, but those things are pretty cool. All right, we are back at our starting place here, the Central Plaza. Some blocked off pedestrian areas, which I always love. Some outdoor seating. A little chilly today, but it's okay. And there's Traveling Mel and family. So great timing, everybody. Thank you for joining us here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I hope you enjoyed this breezy, chilly winter walk in the nation's oldest state capital, second oldest continuously inhabited city as well, after St. Augustine, Florida. And I hope you'll come back. We're gonna head up to Taos from here. Hopefully I'll get a city walk in there and we can explore that together as well. Until then, keep on stepping.